We're trying to find the general form equation of a parabola given its x-intercepts and a y-intercept. So first notice that we have an x-intercept at -3 and we have an x-intercept at 5. Think back to when we were talking about solving quadratics using factoring, and we would take advantage of something called the zero product property, which is where we had, if we factored that quadratic and we had two binomials, say x plus a and x plus b, and that was set equal to 0, we could solve each one of these and figure out our x-intercepts that way. And we would solve the quadratic. In other words, we would find its x-intercepts. So thinking backward, we have an x-intercept at -3. Well, that would give me a factor of x plus 3, right? Because if I set this equal to 0 and solved, I would get x equals -3. Similarly, I must also have a factor that's x minus 5 based on the fact that I have an x-intercept at 5, because if I set this factor equal to 0, x minus 5, I would get x equals 5. So you have to kind of think in reverse as far as the signs go. Now, this is going to be our function f of x. Now, the thing is, we could still have these x-intercepts and have some other factor out here, a, some constant, which we don't know yet if we have. That's where this y-intercept comes into play. Knowing that the y-intercept is 0, 6, that tells me that when x is 0, y must be 6. So let's plug in a 0 for x. 0 plus 3, 0 minus 5. And when x is 0, y, or f of x, must be 6. So now we have this equation that we have just this one unknown variable, a, and we can solve it. So a times 3, 0 plus 3, -5, 0 minus 5, equals 6. 3 times -5 is -15, so I get a times -15 equals 6. Let's divide both sides by -15. And I get a equals -6/15. So this isn't a nice whole number, but we can reduce this a little bit, recognizing that 3 goes into both of these. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Don't forget the negative. So now we know that a is a -2/5. So let's put this all in. So we're going to say f of x equals -2/5 times x plus 3 times x minus 5. We're almost there. It asks us to do it in general form, which means we need to go ahead and multiply out the x plus 3 and the x minus 5. And then we're going to distribute the 2/5 as our last step. So x plus 3 times x minus 5, we're going to do FOIL. So first, x squared. Outside is -5x. Inside is positive 3x. Last is -15. Let's combine our like terms. X squared, we're going to get -2x minus 15. Last step would be to distribute that 2/5, the -2/5. So -2/5 times x squared will give me -2/5 x squared. -2/5 times -2x will give me a positive 4/5 x. -2/5 times -15 will give me a positive 2 times 15 is 30, and then divided by 5, so that's going to give me a positive 6. So my final answer, let's put it in function notation, would be f of x equals -2/5 x squared plus 4/5 x plus 6.